Breaking Bridget. The economy.
Every week, these people try my patience. The economy. I love that that's just the headline. It's the economy, stupid. Wasn't that the Ronald Reagan slogan? If this election isn't about the economy, what are we even doing? But the funny thing is they keep trotting out the only economist we have, apparently, Paul Krugman.
The striking thing, if you look at it, is not just, the economic data have been surreally good. I mean, even optimists are just stunned by how quickly and how painlessly inflation has come down. We're, no hint of a recession, at least so far.
Do we have any other economists other than this fucking guy? He should be in the earlier category, this fucking guy. They trot him out. Christiane Amanpour is interviewing him, and he's like, I don't see what the big disconnect is. Everything is great. We've never seen such good numbers.
So this is great. This is a Goldilocks economy. People say it's a terrible economy. It is, I think, important to point out that there's a really profound and peculiar disconnect going on.
And then it comes out 3 hours later that U.S. consumer prices rose 3.7% in the year through August, an uptick in inflation driven by gas prices, which we, the American people, could have told you because we see that our utilities and our food are still as high as they were during the pandemic. I feel like everybody just used the pandemic to jack the prices up of everything, and now they're just never coming down. And there's also another statistic about how, and I'm not an economist, so I need to get somebody like Carol Roth on here to explain it. But essentially, there was another inflation statistic that came out that was foreboding and not good, and it means things are very bad. I can't remember, the CPI or something like that.
Well, wasn't there a 7% increase in people who fell below the poverty line this year?
Yes, and not to mention there was another statistic about how many children fell into poverty, which is another 5 million children between 2021 and 2022. 16% or some crazy number of children fell into poverty.
Jesus.
I mean, you're sitting there telling us everything's fine, and I'm not believing you because everything is not fine. And it's always these rich people who don't seem to go buy their own groceries or pay attention to what literally anything costs for an average American family. Not to mention medical bills. I'm in medical debt. Maggie's in medical debt. Everyone I know has some kind of medical debt. And it's from a freaking normal, I needed to go to the hospital because I thought something was very wrong. And same thing with Maggie. And now we have medical debt. And not to mention childcare. Who among us can afford childcare? It is insane, but you need two people working to even afford life. It's like a never-ending hamster wheel. Every family I know is struggling. I have talked to siblings, cousins, friends, family. I have friends and family, diverse, all walks of life, all over America, from moving and being around. And I don't know anyone other than the uber rich who are not feeling this and not feeling completely exhausted, completely worn down. Modern life is too fast and they can't catch up, and they can't catch up with their bills, and everything is crushing. And then at the same time, we're being told that everything's okay. It feels like gaslighting, and it's so infuriating. It's like telling people there's no difference between men and women. You can't. Reality remains undefeated. It doesn't matter what you say to people. They still see with their own eyes for now and have their own brains that aren't microchipped for now. And they still can take things in and know what is true and what is just some bullshit that's being spewed by the media. Why do you keep trying? Bidenomics, it's not good. Not to mention, we're just printing money and we're going to be in a hyperinflated situation any minute now. I went to a Bitcoin conference and I'm terrified. I feel like I should be investing in Bitcoin and actual gold.
NFTs are going to blow up. You should really get in now because they're really the future.
This is I don't know what else to do because our dollar is just getting devalued over and over every time they print all this money. And no one's coming for us. We're not a bank. We're not getting bailed out. They should have let this shit all burn in 2008, and they didn't. They bailed them out. And the American taxpayers did, we did, and we're the ones feeling the pinch. Housing prices still haven't come down because no one can sell their house because they got in interest rates that are like in the 2s, and now they're 7. So even if you wanted to sell your house and move, you couldn't because you're not going to trade your 2.5% interest rate for 7.2% or 7%. That would be crazy. So there's still an inventory problem. They thought housing prices would drop. They haven't. They've basically stagnated. It's higher than it's ever been before. The average American can't afford a house. And then we have rents that are skyrocketing. Rents are so expensive. It feels intentional sometimes, like the destruction of the country and the middle class is just like, maybe it is. Maybe this is part of the plan, and I don't like to be conspiracy theorist. It makes me mad too, because personally, I know the feeling of that stress and how much it takes off of your life. I know how that burden feels. It keeps you up at night. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your heart. It's bad for relationships. It strains marriages. We still live in prosperous times and have a lot to be grateful for, but it's like very, very, very enraging when people are telling you that you aren't having a problem that you are having, which is what's happening. Many people in the media are sitting there going, "What's your problem, pleb? Why aren't you happy? You should be grateful to your employer, even though wages have basically stagnated and are nowhere near keeping up with inflation. You should just take your job and say, thank you, sir." I don't even know what to tell people either, other than I see you, I feel you, I'm one of you, I'm not some rich person in the media. I know people might have some mistaken idea of my finances, because if you Google me, it says I'm worth millions of dollars, which is news to me. Inflation is really bad if that's the case. And, I have rich friends who are very wealthy. I'm not one of them. I know the strain you're all feeling, and I know the rage you feel when people are telling you this isn't real and things are great. Maybe it's great for the freaking investor class. Maybe they'll see things aren't good when the stock market falls. But there's such a disconnect between average Americans who are trying to get by and aren't all invested in the stock market, and Americans who are like killing it with their stocks and their bonds and their whatever. Anyway, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. Things are hard. Things are expensive. And all these people. Where's the guillotine?